If you've been on YouTube lately, you've probably seen hundreds of videos like this of people getting their channels demonetized. And in this video, I'm gonna go through exactly why this is happening, how you can avoid it, what channels you should avoid starting, and what channels you should start to keep your channel monetized. This is all happening because of what YouTube is calling repetitious and inauthentic content. So basically what that means is repetitious content means you're posting the same type of video over and over again, and inauthentic content, in short, means that the video doesn't feel like it's produced by a real human. And a common misconception around this entire demonetization wave is that repetitious and inauthentic content means it's generated with AI, and that's actually not the case. The reason so many people believe that's the case is because content that is created with AI tend to be just repetitious and inauthentic. Because if we take a look at the policy that is actually causing all of this demonetization, it's this one. So this is taken from the YouTube website of the July 15th, 2025 policy that says, "We're making a minor update to a repetitious content policy to better clarify this includes content that is repetitive or mass-produced. We are also renaming this policy from repetitious content to inauthentic content." So as you can see here, it says absolutely nothing about that you can't monetize AI content, because you definitely can monetize content that is created with AI. Me personally, I run multiple faceless YouTube channels that are not entirely created with AI, but they have some parts of them created with AI. For example, I use 11 Labs for all of my voiceovers, and I have never ran into any issue with the monetization. So to better clarify what these terms actually mean, because it's kind of a fuss what repetitious content and inauthentic content actually mean. So I entered a prompt in Claude and asked it to explain what this policy mean, and more specifically explain what inauthentic and repetitious content actually mean, and then pasted in the exact policy from YouTube's website. And the answer was that inauthentic content is content that doesn't feel like it was made by a real human with genuine intent. No unique perspective, no original thought, just templated output that could have been made by anyone or anything. And then we have repetitious, mass-produced content, means uploading the same format over and over at a volume and consistency that only an automated system could maintain. Same structure, same style, different topic, copy and paste it at scale. And here we can also see the reference to AI, uploading the same format over and over again at a volume and consistency that only an automated system could maintain. I guess that automated system is what is being referred here to as AI. And if we take a look at a channel that is pretty much like the standard channel I see or have been seeing getting demonetized for the past few months, it usually looks something like this. Generally, it's some kind of Roblox rant channel posting AI generated videos with an AI generated script, with an AI generated voiceover, and then their argument as to why they should stay monetized is because they edited it with CapCut. You can see they added some image, they added captions, but it has been clear that YouTube does not care if you have edited the video yourself. So if we just take a look at a channel like this and compare it to the definitions of these terms inauthentic and repetitious. So let's start with inauthentic. A content system that doesn't feel like it was made by a real person. I think we can all agree that a channel like this and these videos does not really seem like it's created by a real human. It seems very computer and AI generated, and repetitious. Like, there's no question that this is repetitious. Like, just look at the feed here. Every video looks the exact same. There's essentially no difference between them, except that there's a different image on each thumbnail here. And the main issue I see that YouTube is not explicitly saying out loud is that no advertisers would want to have their ad placed around a video like this. Because you got to think about how YouTube is making money and what their business model actually looks like, which is to sell ad slots to companies. And I don't think a single company would buy an ad slot next to videos like this. And the main reason for that isn't because of the videos itself. That doesn't really matter. The problem is more so what viewers this type of channel attract. Because as you can see, the channels like this are actually getting quite a lot of views. It's not uncommon at all that a channel like this are getting millions and millions of views per video. The problem is that these millions of views are usually incredibly low intent viewers. Because a viewer watching a video like this, the odds of them seeing a video and then going to buy something is literally close to zero. And that's what's called a low intent viewer, and no brand want to advertise to low intent viewers. And that's probably the main issue or the main reason, I believe, as to why YouTube is demonetizing all of these channels. But what's interesting is that in the past month, I would say specifically, we've seen a lot of channels that are not AI generated and are, in my opinion, very authentic and non-repetitious get demonetized. And a great example of this is this guy named Olle, who is running a 3D animation channel that is very similar to Sakdi Films, which I'm sure almost everyone who's watching this video have seen. He's got 26.5 million subscribers and are getting hundreds and hundreds of millions of views on multiple of his videos. And if you're into the content creation space, you know that videos like this needs or takes a lot of effort. This is not something you can create with AI and mass produce in only a few minutes. And I've actually been speaking to this guy personally, and he explained that he has a full team of animators working for him full time. And he's even showing proof here that the videos are manually created inside of some kind of 3D animation software. And yet his channel got demonetized. And he's not just some unlucky guy who had his channel demonetized, because this has happened to multiple channels in this niche. You can see here's a very similar channel called Craft 3D with 250,000 subscribers. They've been posting for a long time, and their videos are performing incredibly well. You can see they're getting millions and millions of views on each video. I would guess it takes a lot of effort to create these videos, since this is clearly not AI generated, but they're also getting demonetized. And what's interesting about these channels getting demonetized is not that the channels are not created or the videos the channels are posting are not created with AI. It's more so if you compare these channels and their videos to the terms and the definition of the terms inauthentic and repetitious, because I don't really think they are matching at all, honestly. For example, inauthentic meaning that the content doesn't feel like it was made by a real person. Like, of course there's not a real person in the video, but if you just have some kind of experience of content creation, you know that creating videos like this definitely require, in most cases, multiple humans working on it to get an output like this. And also repetitious or mass-produced, like these videos are not mass-produced. It's incredibly hard to mass-produce videos like this at a rate you would do with AI. So I definitely don't think content like this is repetitious. Neither I think it's inauthentic, but yet it's clear that channels like this are getting demonetized. So what we can learn from this is that AI in itself is not the issue. Of course, there are mainly AI channels getting targeted by this demonetization wave, but it's not the main issue. If you run a faceless channel where you're producing content like this, you can definitely 100% still get demonetized. And something I have seen or found to be in common with a lot of these faceless short channel getting demonetized is that their feeds look something like this. And I think you can see the issue right here. So if we take a look at the thumbnails right here on all of these channels, you can see that the videos in their feed are looking very similar in each video. And I believe you could make the argument that this could come off as repetitious. And maybe that's the issue as to why these channels are getting demonetized. I'm not sure, this is just a guess, but it's a common trait I've seen across a lot of these faceless channels that aren't using AI that are getting demonetized. And a clear one is definitely that the YouTube Shorts channels are targeted. I have yet to see a single faceless YouTube channel that is actually posting longer, valuable, educational videos get demonetized. Like, it basically doesn't happen. The high quality channels that are getting demonetized are always YouTube Shorts channels. So if I were to give you one advice at this point of time, I would probably not start a faceless YouTube Shorts channel and have ad revenue as my only or main source of income, because the odds of getting demonetized right now is higher than it has ever been before. And I even put a prompt into Claude asking if Shorts channels are targeted in this demonetization, and the answer is, it honestly makes quite a lot of sense. It says yes, but not exclusively, because they're Shorts channels. So basically what it's saying is that the issue is that the entire YouTube Shorts business model is based around posting voluminous amounts of content. So you're competing by posting a lot of videos. And compare that to a long form channel where you are instead posting, let's say, one very good video a week. But if you're running a YouTube Shorts channels, you are instead posting maybe 1 to 2 times a day. And the risk you're leaping when you're posting that many videos is that the content become mass produced and repetitious, which according to Claude is the main reason why Shorts channels are targeted in this demonetization wave. So we now know very clearly what YouTube does not want on their platform. They do not want Shorts channels posting the same format over and over again. Like, they couldn't have been more clear about that. So what do they actually want on the platform? What videos do they want you to post, and what videos will they reward you for posting? So I entered a prompt again into Claude. What content does YouTube prefer on its platform? And it gave me the following things. The first one is original educational content. YouTube has repeatedly stated that they want to be the world's largest educational platform. And this is something I've been on for the past 3 years at this point, running educational YouTube channels. So basically these are normal YouTube channels that are fully dedicated to a specific skill. Like, that could be coding, fitness, AI, soccer, like anything. It's just a YouTube channel that is teaching a specific skill. And the reason YouTubers like educational channels is because they attract high intent viewers. So someone watching an educational channel have a clear goal in mind when watching the channel, because they want to learn a specific skill. And by attracting people who want to learn a specific skill, you automatically get high intent viewers. And when you have high intent viewers, it's a lot easier for YouTube to sell ad slots, which makes them more money, and it also makes you more money. The second one is a long watch time. And here again, it's pretty clear why YouTube Shorts is not nailing this one, because the videos are just like a couple of seconds to a minute long. So you don't really keep the viewer on the platform for too long. So let's compare that now to a long form channel where you can post 10-minute plus videos and you keep the viewer for the platform for a lot longer compared to a YouTube Shorts channel. Then we have content that drives return visits. And the issue here is that Shorts channels rarely attract loyal audiences. Imagine yourself when you're sitting down scrolling on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels. You probably watch like 50 to 100 videos each time you're scrolling. So the odds of the viewer coming back to the platform to watch your videos again is very, very small. And that compared to, let's say, a long-form educational YouTube channel where the viewer is watching the video to learn a specific skill, then the odds of them coming back to continue learning that skill is like 10 times bigger. It's not even comparable. And then we have high advertiser value niches, and this one is pretty obvious. Like, YouTube wants you to create videos in niches where they can sell ad slots. And the main ones that they're rewarding the highest are finance, education, business, technology, health. And the reason that they reward channels that are in these niches are because there are so many advertisers that want to pay to have their ad shown on these videos. And The last one, content that generates genuine discussion. And this is just all engagement. So content that trigger the viewer to engage by either liking, commenting, sharing. That is something YouTube rewards very heavily. And I think it's pretty clear to everyone that YouTube Shorts does not meet basically any of these requirements. Maybe Shorts can generate genuine discussion, but I don't think that in itself is enough. And also a big issue with a YouTube Shorts channel is that ad revenue is your only source of income. There's basically no way to monetize your channel outside of ad revenue when you run a Shorts channels. So if you get demonetized, your entire business model is completely over. You lose all of your revenue overnight, and you're basically completely dependent on YouTube not demonetizing your channel, which in my opinion is not a sustainable source of income. And it's the main reason I'm not getting into YouTube Shorts, and I have never gotten into it. So what should you do instead? As I said, what I've been doing for the past 3 years and seen some really good results with are running educational YouTube channels. So what's good about educational YouTube channels is number one, and the main thing that I like about them is that you have multiple sources of income. So on one of my channels, which I will show you in just a little bit, I'm having 5 different sources of income, with ad revenue being by far the smallest one. If my channel were to get demonetized tomorrow, I would lose about 3 to 5% of my total revenue, which is completely survivable. So essentially it doesn't even matter if you're getting your channel demonetized when running an educational channel, since you have so many income sources. And the second one is there's almost no risk of demonetization. Educational content is actually providing value to the viewer. It attracts advertisers to the platform. So there's really no point for YouTube in demonetizing you, because you are doing exactly what they want you to do. And you can also run educational channels completely faceless. I have actually never shown my face on YouTube before starting this channel, and all of my channels are completely faceless. You also attract a loyal audience. When you run an educational channel, you kind of become a mentor to the viewer. And if they're actively trying to learn that skill, they will very likely come back to you multiple times to continue learning this one skill, which leads to you having a very loyal audience. And also you can post longer videos. When you post educational videos, a 30-second short is not going to be enough to teach a somewhat complex subject. So you can create 10-minute plus long videos or even hour-long videos teaching this one specific skill. And if we take a look at all of these aspects, you'll see that it's basically doing everything that YouTube wants you to do. You're posting original educational content, you're posting long videos that attract a longer watch time, you attract a lot of advertisers. So YouTube will treat your channel very well if you're just doing all of these things. So some examples of educational YouTube channels would be, for example, Iman Gadshi in the agency space, David Fogarty in the e-commerce space, Mike Thurston in the fitness and lifestyle, Nick Bear creating videos about how to become a hybrid athlete, this guy always doing some kind of tech review. So you can basically start an educational YouTube channel around any skill out there. I think a common misconception is that you can only create educational content about how to make money, which is really not the case. You can create an educational channel about basically anything. It could be music, it could be sports, it could be lifestyle, and then of course also how to make money is a big one. But the thing about all of these channels is that they are showing their face, which is something not a lot of people want to do, especially when just starting out. For example, when I was starting out, I did not want to show my face. So what I do instead is that I run channels that are completely faceless. For example, this is one of my channels called AI Society. And instead of showing my face, this was about a year ago, I instead just uploaded a video or an image of myself to ChatGPT and asked it to turn myself into a 3D animated Pixar style character. And then I just use that as my profile picture and my character for my channel instead. And as you can see, I've been able to get some really good results even though I'm not showing my face. This right here was the second video I ever posted on this channel, and it got almost 200,000 views. And then I've just continued repeating the exact same format and been getting hundreds of thousands of views, only posting a few videos. Because the thing about this channel is that I'm not posting a lot of videos. I've only posted about 19 videos in a year at this point, but I'm putting a lot of effort and money into each video. And that's also why they are performing so well. And that is because YouTube reward you if you put a lot of effort to create actually valuable content. So this channel is getting about 36,000 views on average. The videos are 11 minutes long, and the channel have 5 different income sources. And this is where educational channels differentiate a lot from entertainment and YouTube Shorts channels. So the first one is brand deals, and this is a big one, especially for this channel, since it's in the AI niche and there are so many AI companies popping up right now. There are new huge AI company coming every week, so I have a lot of opportunities at this time, at least, to have a brand deal on essentially every video I post. And on a channel like this one with only 15,000 subscribers, so it's really not a big channel, I'm able to charge around $1,500 to $2,000 per video for a dedicated video. And the reason I like brand deals so much is because one of these videos, as I said, takes a lot of effort and a lot of money also to produce. So what I need to do is, first I need to find a good topic, I need to write an engaging script, I need to pay my editor about $500 to $700 per video on average. And before I even post the video, I've spent hundreds of dollars, I've spent multiple days working on it, and I have no idea if it's gonna succeed. So by having a brand partnership before I even create the video, I've already secured about $1,000 per video. Let's say I charge $1,500 for a brand partnership, I spend $500 on editing. I have secured $1,000 profit before I even post the video, which is a great security to have. And the reason I like brand deals so much, and I essentially have one in every video I post on this channel. Next we have digital products, which is one of my favorite ways to monetize educational channels like AI Society. And it's also the one I'm currently making the most amount of revenue from. And the reason I like digital products so much is because you create this product once and then you can sell it unlimited amount of times. So let's say you're setting up an ebook, you're creating an asset pack, you'll create it once and then you can just sell it over and over and over again without having any additional product cost. So the profit margins on educational products is usually around 75 to 100% profit margin on every sale you generate. And with this channel, AI Society, I've had a couple of days like this. This one, for example, on January 1st of this year, I did almost $2,500 in a single day from this one YouTube channel. And with a 75% profit margin, I think it's almost $2,000 in profit in a single day from posting these videos. And you would not be able to generate that much revenue from a shorts channel or also from a low effort long form channel. To be able to generate those kinds of numbers, you need to put a lot of effort into your videos. Then we have the third one, which is community. And for AI Society, I'm not running any sort of paid community where the members need to pay a fee every month. Instead, I'm running a free community on WAP. So as you can see, the AI Society community currently have 10,800 members. And even though I'm not generating any revenue from the community in itself, I can use this community to collect my audience in one place, which is so valuable. Because I can start conversations in here, I can talk to people, I can understand what issues they have. When I have a new product to launch, I can pre-launch it inside of the community. I can also do brand deals. Brands are paying me actively to put affiliate links and stuff like that inside of the community. So I believe creating a free community like this is incredibly profitable. And personally, I'm using the free community as sort of an alternative to an email list, because in this audience, this is quite of a young and modern audience. Nobody wants to get spammed with a bunch of emails, and I've found communities to be a much better option than running a free email list. Then we have affiliate marketing. I would say this is like, it's a good one, but it's not a huge one for me personally. So in these videos, I'm using a bunch of different AI tools, like let's say 11 Labs, for example. When I'm not having a brand deal with these companies, I instead just put an affiliate link in the description. And as I said earlier, this is not a huge one, but it can definitely make a couple of extra $100 per month. And then finally, we have the smallest one, ad revenue. So this channel, it's doing just about like $300 per month in ad revenue. And it's only a few percentages of the total revenue. So if this channel were to get demonetized, we're completely fine anyways, because it's such a small part of the total revenue that is going away. And here you can see some other examples of faceless channels in different niches. This is a great channel called Build with AI. So he's creating videos about how to get started with vibe coding and use tools like Replit, Lovable, and those kinds of softwares. This one right here is one of my favorite faceless channels of all time. And it was honestly the channel that kind of inspired me to start my own one, called Isaac. And he's posting videos basically just about how to get started with a YouTube channel, explaining metrics, like how to write scripts, how to create thumbnails, how to do great storytelling, and all of those stuff. The only con I would say there is with an educational channel is that there's a very high entry barrier. It's not easy to start a channel like this, and the reason is because it takes so much effort to create each video. And most people are not willing to put the effort it takes to create a video like this on their first video. You basically have to put in a bunch of time, mostly, like videos like this take multiple days to plan and create. You also have to spend a bunch of money in the beginning on editors, thumbnail designers, maybe a script writer if you want that, without having any guaranteed income. So like the risk is you spend hundreds of dollars and you get 0 views, and you just threw the money away without getting anything back. And that's sort of the risk you have to take. But if you do it correctly, you can get the result like this on your second video, which is exactly what I did. But it really all comes down to knowing what you're doing, like knowing how to pick the right topics, knowing how to write a good script, and knowing what products to promote. So if you want to get started with an educational YouTube channel, the first and the most important thing you gotta find out is to find your own skill set, like find the niche you want to start your educational YouTube channel around. And it can be like literally anything that you are better at and have more knowledge in than the average person. Like it can be AI, which was my case. I knew quite a lot about AI tools. So I started a channel about how to use them. It can be like music, if you're great at playing the piano or playing the guitar, content creation, cooking, marketing, running, bodybuilding, cars, like anything that you know more about than the average person you think will watch your channel. The second step is that you need to find a topic. So what you want to do is figure out the questions and problems your target viewer have. And then you want to create videos around those topics. So let's say you're starting a channel about running. Think for yourself first, like what would you want to know if you want to get into running? I would guess it would be stuff like, what running shoes do you need to have? How many times per week should you run? How far should you run? What pace should you go at? Like all of those questions you imagine that someone wanting to get into that industry want answers to. But there are also a couple of ways in which you can find it out. For example, if you go to the YouTube search bar and you type in a keyword for your niche, for example, in my case, AI tool, you will get a bunch of alternatives or suggestions like this from YouTube. And all of these suggestions you're seeing right here are keywords that people are actively searching for. So definitely look around for these suggestions right here and try to create videos around this. So for example, if I were to find a video topic for AI society and I wrote in AI tools and I see here AI tools for business, it's probably a good idea for me to create a video about what AI tools are good to start a business. So yeah, I think you get the point. Anyway, once you have your topic ready, the next step is to write a script, which is probably, if not the most important step of the entire video creation process. Because if your script is boring and you don't capture the viewer's attention, they will click off right away. But just a quick go through of how you want to structure your script. You want to start off with a hook, get into the tutorial where you're doing all of the steps you're teaching the viewer, and then finish off with a CTA to whatever product you are offering. So like a digital product, a community, or whatever it is. But the most important part of the script is definitely the hook. So I thought I'd just go a bit deeper into how to write the hook and how to think about it. So the hook is the first 30 seconds of the video. You can see this part of the retention graph right here. And the reason the hook is so important is because if your hook is boring, the viewer will click off the video right away. So you want to make sure that this graph is as flat as possible in the beginning. And the best way to do that is usually that you want to tease the outcome the viewer will get from watching this video in the beginning. So let's say we have a video with the title, How to Run a 5K in Less Than 20 Minutes. Then the hook could be something like, 99% of people are making this one mistake that is stopping you from running a sub 20 minute 5K. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how to fix it. So you're telling the viewer that there is one mistake everyone is making that is holding them back from running a sub 25K. And if they continue to watch your video, they will get the answer on how to fix it, which builds curiosity and likely will get the viewer to stay and flatten out this retention graph as much as possible. Anyway, once you have your script ready, step 4 is to create a voiceover. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm using 11 Labs for all of my voiceovers. I think it sounds just as good as a real voiceover artist, but most of all, it's a lot cheaper. So I'm just using 11 Labs, but instead of using one of their standard voices, I instead have a custom voice. I'm using this one right here, see, AI Society. And I just created this using their voice design feature. So I just went here, clicked on create a voice design, and I just entered a prompt into this box describing the voice I wanted to create. And then I've been using it since the start of the channel, basically. Then finally, we have the editing, which is the most expensive part of the entire video creation process. And the mistake I see a lot of people make when trying to find an editor is going on sites like Fiverr, where you will usually just find people who want to make a quick buck, and you'll also probably get quite a low quality product for a relatively high price. So what I would do instead, and what I've always been doing, is to look on places like X and Discord instead. So you can see this is the tweet I posted that found me the editor I'm using right now for AI Society. And you should expect to pay around $15 to $40 per edited minute for a faceless channel. $15 I would say is definitely the low end. Don't expect too good quality if you're paying $15. But it's definitely a good alternative in the beginning when you don't have as big of a budget. But as soon as you start to make some money from the channel, I would definitely recommend finding a skilled editor. For example, for AI Society, I'm paying my editor $40 per edited minute, which usually comes out to around like $500 to $700 per video, since the videos are usually around like 12 to 15 minutes long. And yeah, that's basically like a short little walkthrough of how to start an educational YouTube channel.